Well, good morning to you on this Monday. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. You're watching the KTLA-5 Morning News. I'm Chris Schabel. Megan joining us momentarily. But first, let's check in with the hardest working woman in the biz, at least right now.
Yeah, right now, and I'll take it, yes.
Double duty.
Double duty until Kurt gets here, and then there's relief. But you know what? There may be relief later on in the week in terms of our weather. We're going to take you straight away so you can see what the temps are going to be like, because you're going to like what you see. You can tell that it is really nice right here in downtown. Calm temperatures, we're going to be in the 60s. Today and tomorrow, that's when the heat up begins. Let's move you over to look real quick, too, at your drive, and we'll talk in detail about fire weather concerns, sundowner winds, all that stuff. But the 60 freeway, the westbound side of the 60, right here at about Heacock Street, it does sound serious. A car careened down the embankment, and now it looks like there may be some debris. So far, it's still a good ride for our friends traveling throughout Moval. That will change. And then let's move it to all the construction. Reduced lanes, 605 freeway north, basically between Florence Avenue, so we can put it at the 5 up to about Valley. They'll keep those lanes closed until 5 o'clock. They're real good about the signage, but then come tomorrow, it will be a bigger project and much more in terms of those lanes that are going to be closed. We'll watch all these things. Chris, back to you.
All right, Ginger, thank you. Today, the Democratic National Convention kicks off in Chicago. This event comes amid fears of major protest as well. KTLA-5's Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley live in Chicago with more on all of it. Trevor, good morning to you.
Hey there, Chris. Good morning to you as well. Vice President Kamala Harris isn't slated to speak here until later in the week, but already she's focusing the message that she plans to pitch to voters.
When you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for.
Vice President Kamala Harris will make her biggest pitch yet to voters as she fights to become the next president of the United States.
It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And that's what this campaign is about.
This week, thousands of Democratic diehards converge on Chicago, rallying their party behind the vice president.
It's going to be a real celebration of Vice President Harris and Governor Walz and the moving forward in this great country and the work that we've done so far.
Slated speakers include President Joe Biden, along with former Presidents Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. But fears remain that protesters unhappy with the current administration's handling of the Israel-Hamas war could distract from the convention.
We very much are welcoming people to express their right to freedom of speech. And in fact, there will be an area that protesters can be in to express themselves.
A wide security perimeter is now in place with the convention's first night just hours away. And tonight's featured speakers include First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. We're also expecting to hear from former First Lady Michelle Obama at some point later in the week. That's the latest here in Chicago. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Trevor, thank you. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass will be attending the Democratic National Convention. KTLA-5's John Fenolio, who's going to be covering it for us, was on the same flight to Chicago as Mayor Bass and spoke with her.
Very excited. I'm so excited to be a part of this moment in history. I know that the enthusiasm is going to be off the charts.
The mayor says she will speak to the crowd tonight, but only plans on staying in Chicago for a few days because she says she has a lot going on here in Los Angeles.
Stay with KTLA-5 for continuing coverage of the Democratic National Convention all week. We have a team of reporters live in Chicago capturing all the action at the DNC. And for the latest any time of day, you can head to our website, KTLA.com, or download our free KTLA-5 app. Friends and family of General Hospital star Johnny Wachter are pushing for harsher charges against the 4 suspects arrested in his killing.
KTLA-5's Aaron Myers live now from Hollywood with more details. Aaron, good morning to you.
Good morning. Those friends and family will be holding a news conference this morning in downtown. They want to see the men arrested in his death face stricter penalties. DA George Gascon is also expected to announce the charges those men will face this afternoon. But let's go ahead and get into some video from May 25th. That is when actor Johnny Wachter was shot and killed in downtown. This after returning to his car after he and a co-worker left the bar that they worked at. Wachter interrupted thieves that were stealing the catalytic converter from his vehicle when, according to police, one of them fired at him without provocation. The suspects fled and Wachter was taken to the hospital where he died. Earlier this month, police asked for the public's help, releasing these images of the suspects and their getaway car. And just last week, 4 arrests were made after police searched several locations in Los Angeles. 3 18-year-olds believed to be gang members were booked on a murder charge. Robert Barsleau of Huntington Park, Leonel Gutierrez of Los Angeles County, and Sergio Estrada, also of Los Angeles County. 22-year-old Frank Alano of Inglewood was booked for an accessory to a crime. Family and friends of the actor spoke out last week after those arrests were made.
It's just such a relief to see some action coming forward. Part of our grief is able to come off of our shoulders a little bit and be, finally getting those words we've been searching for so long, justice for Johnny.
Those who know the actor want DA George Gascon to enforce stiff penalties and pursue aggressive prosecution following these arrests. They also want to see Mayor Karen Bass take immediate and decisive action to combat the escalation of violent thefts and to prioritize public safety, ensure harsher penalties for such crimes, and implement stronger measures to protect the community. After the arrests, the mayor did release a statement, part of it reading, "Now we must ensure that those who are responsible for this brazen and heinous act are held fully accountable." Back here live, the news conference with family and friends will be at 9 o'clock this morning. The district attorney is expected to make his announcement at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Reporting live here in Hollywood, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you both in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you. City officials in Long Beach set to begin clearing out homeless encampments beginning today. The decision comes in the wake of Governor Gavin Newsom's directive to remove unauthorized encampments from the streets of California. In a memo released last week, Long Beach officials announced their intentions to comply with Newsom's order. Now, the memo includes new enforcement measures to tackle what the city has deemed as, quote, problematic encampments.
Only in the most extreme circumstances. These are when chronic encampments in our parks, our beaches, and libraries are really a threat to public health or accessibility, is when we can leverage these new tools. But let's be very clear. This is not a solution to homelessness. There are no shortcuts. We have to place a real focus and maintain our focus on root causes.
Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson, who you just saw there, tells KTLA-5 the city will provide outreach and services to the unhoused living in these encampments.
Disneyland Halloween 2024 season will officially get underway this week. It's still August, but the theme park is getting into the Halloween spirit starting Friday. Oogie Boogie Bash will return to Disney California Adventure next Sunday. Tickets are sold out. The park will be decked out with pumpkins and fall colors. You'll be able to again greet the grim, grinning ghosts along with Jack and Sally with the reopening of the Haunted Mansion as well.
Ooh. Yeah, it's not going to feel like Halloween.
No.
I mean, it may look like Halloween.
Yeah.
But when you got temperatures in the 90s.
Exactly.
It's the Summerween.
Yeah.
We learned that.
There you
we learned that that's what it's called.
Summerween. Well, I mean, you might see it too. Like some people already have their Halloween decorations up.
The big skeletons.
Oh my goodness! I know you got to get them now, otherwise they're going to be sold out. Yeah. So, but you're right because it doesn't feel fall like we know everyone's still talking about pumpkin spice and that kind of thing, but it's going to creep up on us, and the Oogie Boogie sells out.
I know. It's done.
Boy, it's done. So here's the thing. You're going to go to an amusement park. Mondays are good days, right? Not so busy, but it will be hot. Today and tomorrow, okay? So we're expecting high pressure to really be at its fullest these next couple of days, and then all of a sudden, things will drop off, and it'll be like, what? Yeah, it does feel like it's going to be pumpkin spice weather as well as Halloween. Here it is, that drive looking into downtown LA, and we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about downtown for you in a second, at least in terms of what you can expect with your weather. This is the situation that we're dealing with. Not much of a change from what we saw yesterday. Yesterday was still kind of on the slightly warm and toasty side, I will say that much. I mean, I'm sure you felt it and experienced it as well. We're not going to get the marine layer or the cloud cover that we saw last week, okay, not this week. And you can see, look, our average temperatures, we might be breaking records, nothing to show there. Maybe we'll get some of that later on. But at least in terms of the high temperatures for today, okay? Today is an interesting day. You know, with the super blue moon is going to be upon us, supposedly making its peak. I was going to say around 2:30, but should be precise, 2:26 this afternoon. We'll talk more about that. 95 for our friends in Santa Clarita, so all that sunshine. And again, today, tomorrow, those hot days, because that high pressure system is just really at its strongest, peaking over us. I mean, for Avalon to be at 80 degrees, even though we still have that cloud cover, that is still on the warm side. Some of our friends who live in Long Beach, Bixby Knolls, Signal Hill, and those spots don't have air conditioning, so that might be a challenging spot at temperatures there. So 86 for Garden Grove. We're talking about Buena Park, Anaheim, those spots. Yeah, today definitely going to be on that warm and toasty side. And you'll see it in the 7-day forecast for what you can expect. But look at San Bernardino at 100 degrees. So yesterday we did start to feel those temperatures going up, but really today, again, tomorrow will be those hot days. You see it Riverside, 98 degrees. Eastvale for our friends there as well. So here it is, at least in the heart of downtown. And look at Tuesday. I mean, could this be a record breaker? It's possible. 92 degrees, well above our average. But then come the weekend, I think much more comfortable for you, maybe even too comfortable, because I think some people may want it to be slightly on the warmer side for the weekend so you can hit the beaches and that kind of stuff. But for now, anyway, this is what we're dealing with inland Orange County. Let's talk about your ride this morning. So I mentioned it, right? That downtown there is something. So here it is. We couldn't see it from my cameras, but we know it's here. We talk about it, right? The numbered streets. So 3rd, 4th, 6th, 9th, 110 southbound side right here at 3rd Street. That's where they're going with maybe a stall or something like that. The driver hit the center divider, and now it could be a more serious situation. They're talking about airbags being deployed. We'll see. And then you're driving along the 60, the westbound side, right at about Heacock Street. So it's the same thing that we talked about earlier. We didn't see the delays earlier. Now they're here, and they're in the process of reopening the lanes as we speak, but they had to stop lanes in order to do that. And then a great camera. We love it, right? We're so partial to it. 9-1 right here at Green River Road. We talk about it too. Sundays and Mondays, they don't often work. It looks like everything has been quiet on the stretch of the 91 freeway with volume indeed building. All right, Megan and Chris, back to you.
Thank you, Ginger. Coming up, scary moments for people at a music festival in Germany.
The video that captures the moment a Ferris wheel at that event catches fire.
And unique-looking shoes going on sale today. Details on the Stiletto Sneaker Hybrid.
Tell me that the world's been spinning since the beginning, and everything will be all right.
Eure Ohren, eure Aufmerksamkeit. Wir machen das jetzt einfach.
At least 23 people were hurt when a fire broke out on a Ferris wheel at a music festival in eastern Germany. This happened Saturday night. A fire started in one gondola before spreading to a second gondola. 4 people suffered burns, another was injured from a fall. 18 other people, including first responders and police, were taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. Police now investigating the cause of the flames.
Tropical storm Ernesto is now a hurricane. It's creating life-threatening surf and rip currents along the East Coast. National Hurricane Center says the storm's maximum sustained winds are 75 miles per hour. That is a Category 1 storm. Flood alerts are in effect to all along parts of the Northeast. In New Jersey, at least 6 people had to be rescued in high surf. At least 3 people drowned in dangerous rip currents in South and North Carolina. The storm is expected to weaken and become a post-tropical cyclone by tomorrow.
In Colorado, about 100 people were treated for heat-related illnesses at an air show there. It happened Saturday at the Pikes Peak Regional Air Show that's in Colorado Springs. Temps in the area hovering in the 90s. Most people treated at the scene, but 10 people did have to be hospitalized. The Colorado Springs Fire Department says the swift action by all partners ensured that everyone was taken care of and serious injuries were avoided.
Shapewear company Spanx is getting into the footwear business. Check this out. The company's launching its own line of comfortable high heels. They're a hybrid between sneaker and stiletto. The name of the new company is called Sneaks, with an X, similar to how Spanx is spelled. With an, according to the brand's site, founder Sarah Blakely has been working on the patented design for 9 years now. The shoes will retail from $395 to $595.
Wow.
Well, they say they're comfortable, but we'll have to see.
Well, for $600.
Yeah, they better be.
Hey, More power to
I could see that taken off.
Me
Yeah,
too.
it doesn't look
Until I
bad.
heard the price.
Yeah, price is an issue.
Yeah, that would make everybody kind of cringe a little bit. Good morning to you guys. So Henry's still off, and then Kirk will be in for a little bit. But until then, you got me. So we're going to do this together, right? Because we know it's going to be hot. We already saw some of those temperatures. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, we'll see whether or not we could break a record come next week. We're not thinking that far ahead. Tomorrow, okay? And the other thing is, I mean, maybe we'll be able to access this camera to see, as I mentioned before, the supermoon, the super blue moon, which is expected to peak sometime later on today. And really what we're talking about there is that it's when the moon, the sun, and the earth all align, and the earth is in the middle. And then that just means that the moon will be that much brighter, right? Why not? We love looking at those kinds of things. You can howl at the moon. Van Nuys at 68 degrees, and you see it, Point Mugu, 57 degrees. But our friends into areas of Santa Barbara, Ventura County, you may experience some of those sundowner winds. For now, let's look at this. So you can already tell that it's going to be super hot. 8 o'clock in the morning at about 70 degrees. And remember, this is the week. We know already LAUSD has gone back to school last week, right? But there are a lot of school districts still holding out, some that go back today, and then some actually after Labor Day, but most of them will be already back by then. As we look at this, and we're going to advance everything for those future winds. We're not talking about strong winds anywhere at advisory levels. We do have one camera. We're going to check that in a little bit just to see whether or not it's shaking around, and then may give us some of those areas where we will have some windy conditions. Otherwise, come later on tonight, some of those winds could start to pick up in these spots, but it won't be, disturbing for your ride or anything like that. It's just something that we're going to be watching and looking forward to. Cloud cover will start to build, though, in some spots, but later on, not so much today. In fact, we'll see the burn-off happening very quickly. The regional forecast, we like looking at this. You have travel plans. I know a lot of people will travel, like, say, on a Monday for work just for the day. So it's 70 degrees in San Francisco. Pretty toasty there, Albuquerque, and 95. You see our friends in Phoenix. 110 for you. I still feel like it's pretty warm at 107. We had that you probably watched that game, Allegiant Stadium, of course, indoors, which is nice because it's 107 degrees for today and yesterday as well. All right, so we know that we're talking about that high pressure system that really starts to peak. So it's kind of slow in its burn, peaks tomorrow, and that's why we have these temperatures for our friends in areas of Woodland Hills, Calabasas, West Hills, where you will be possibly at 105 degrees. The same for our friends in areas of the Inland Empire, whether it's Riverside, we talk about Grand Terrace and Eastvale, 103 degrees. So really, those are some dangerous temperatures as well. We're going to look more into detail about your drive into downtown. Let's show you some things that we have for your ride on this Monday. So here it is. Great camera to show us the 15 here at Sierra Avenue. At times, we'll see it shake around. This morning, it still looks okay, and then once in a while, maybe it's just a big gust of wind. Otherwise, free-flowing open, right? 57 freeway. So the northbound side, they put it at about Grand Avenue. It's really where that split is with the 57 and the 60. Just a stall that's in the middle lanes. I mean, we saw yesterday, with a CHP officer who was hit trying to push a stalled vehicle over to the shoulder. So stalls can turn into something more dangerous. You've got to know it's here in the middle lanes, okay? And then back to that 110 freeway heading into downtown, 110 south at 3rd. They're still waiting for the tow unit to clear everybody to the shoulder, but the airbags were deployed. So the crash sounds a little bit on the serious side, right? We'll watch it. Megan and Chris.
All right, Ginger, thank you. 420 is the time. Coming up, the new movie that took the top spot at the box office.
Plus, why some Kesha fans are speculating there may be a rift between her and rapper Pitbull. Details when we come back.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber.
Rapper Pitbull responding to speculation that singer Kesha's name was intentionally removed from the YouTube title of their 2013 music video, Timber.
Going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
Pitbull posted on X yesterday, writing, quote, Kesha and I have an incredible song together. Nothing will change this. Team Pitbull is looking into this matter. Always nothing but love for Kesha. The video title on YouTube used to include the words featuring Kesha. It now appears simply as Pitbull Timber official video. Kesha fans took to social media calling it an act of revenge by American songwriter and producer Dr. Luke. In 2014, Kesha accused Dr. Luke of raping her, and he responded by suing her for defamation. The two reached a settlement in the decade-long case last year.
Whatever comes, we'll face it together.
Let's go.
It's a no for me, Bob. Alien Romulus conquers the box office, and its opening weekend, the film brought in $41.5 million in domestic ticket sales. Deadpool and Wolverine still bringing in some money. It came in second with another $29 million. That's its fourth week in theaters. It ends with Us in third this week with $24 million. Twisters in fourth. Caroline came in fifth. It's back in theaters, right? Coraline. Coraline, yeah. My daughters love that movie.
Yeah.
All right, coming up at 4:30, why rapper Snoop Dogg is shading the new home of the LA Clippers.
And the fight over paperwork on power poles in one Southern California neighborhood.
Plus, a computer store in Orange County targeted by burglars once again. The video showing the suspects ransacking the business when the KTLA-5 Morning News comes right back.
Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Megan Henderson.
And I'm Chris Schauble. Good morning to you. Hopefully you had a fantastic weekend. Ginger here doing double duty, weather and traffic.
Yeah, the weather was really nice over the weekend. A lot of things that happened. So like in Manhattan Beach. So yeah, I think that this week it's going to be a little tough. We have so many more kids going back to school, right? So I think that with the heat that is expected today, I know that there are some in like Montclair and Claremont going back, and then tomorrow as well. So hopefully the air conditioning will be working in some of those spots, because we know it can be hot and toasty anyway. Look how beautiful this is. I love this shot of downtown. It just looks so pretty. Downtown LA, I should be more specific, right? Whether it's the 110 that's moving, or you could just see the downtown skyline, just about perfect. But in the heart of downtown, I mean, look, you have plans to be here, and sometimes Mondays people work in downtown to have the day off, right? Whatever it is the case, 88 degrees, your high temperatures, and then for our friends in the San Fernando Valley at 101, and guess what? It's only going to get hotter, that's right, at least come tomorrow. We'll see the dip in the temperatures when we check out our 7-day forecast, but we're hitting those triple digits for our friends in areas of Riverside. Maybe no surprise, Eastvale, Grand Terrace, great, beautiful spots. But yes, it will be hot for you, and maybe even some breezy conditions. For our friends in some of those mountain high desert communities, the chance of some fire danger. So we'll talk in more detail about it. That is just a quick look at what you can expect for your weather. For your drive, anyway, it's not so bad. Still kind of on the mellow Monday side. We'll move you over first to look at that 91. So it's the eastbound side of the 215 split. So we are talking about the Riverside interchange, okay, right here. Downtown Riverside gets busy as well, but the stall that's in the right lane might slow down your drive for a little bit. Mondays are those busy days, and in the mornings at LAX, they angled it just a tiny bit differently, but you can see light volume here, but still not bad at all. We'll watch it. Megan and Chris.
All right, Ginger, thank you. The 4 suspects accused of killing actor Johnny Wachter expected to be formally charged today.
KTLA's Aaron Myers is live in Hollywood with more. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning to you both. Friends and family of Johnny Wachter will also be holding a news conference this morning in downtown. They want to see the men that were arrested in his death face strict penalties. DA George Gascon is also expected to announce what charges they will be facing this afternoon. We'll go ahead and get into some video from when this all happened back in May. This was May 25th. That is when the actor was returning to his car in downtown Los Angeles after he and a coworker left the bar that they worked at. Wachter interrupted thieves that were stealing the catalytic converter from his car when, according to police, one of them fired at him without provocation. The suspects fled. Wachter was taken to the hospital where he died. Earlier this month, police asked for the public's help, releasing images of the suspects and their getaway car. And just last week, 4 arrests were made after police searched several locations in Los Angeles. 3 18-year-olds believed to be gang members were booked on a murder charge. Robert Barsleau of Huntington Park, Leonel Gutierrez of Los Angeles County, and Sergio Estrada, also of Los Angeles County. 22-year-old Frank Olano of Inglewood was booked for an accessory to a crime. Family and friends of the actor spoke out last week after those arrests were made.
To have the harshest sentence possible. If you take a life, I'm sorry, you don't get the opportunity to come and live your life free ever again. I want to look him in the eye, and they need to see the people who loved him and see the people who they took him from.
Those who know the actor want DA George Gascon to enforce stiff penalties and pursue aggressive prosecution following these arrests. They also want to see Mayor Karen Bass take immediate and decisive action to combat the escalation of violent thefts and to prioritize public safety, ensure harsher penalties for such crimes, and implement stronger measures to protect the community. After the arrest, the mayor did release a statement, part of it reading, "Now we must ensure that those who are responsible for this brazen and heinous act are held fully accountable." Back here live, this news conference